Hey everyone, welcome to our garage. I'm Ryan. This is my wife Benita.
Hi.
Our shop cat Merlin.
This is Merlin.
This is our first attempt at ever trying to make a video for car work. And so I guess we'll just jump right into it. This is our first car project up. It is a 1939 Chevy Master 85 Deluxe. At least that's what the badges say on it. It currently has an LT1 from a 94 Corvette. And at some point soon, we will be swapping it for a 5.3, I believe an LM7. So let me give you an overview of the car. This is an older restoration. It was my wife's father's car, and it was passed to us, and we have turned into its custodians. So like I said, LT1 out of a 94 Corvette or a 94 Camaro of the time. It runs okay. It's got a couple of gremlins that we've tried to sort out over the years. It's got a weak start. It's one thing that we'd like to fix with a newer motor. So apart from that, the other major challenges that we have on this car is a good bit of rust, especially down here in the rocker panels. As you can see in here, we've got to take all this apart and see what's under here. Down under this B-pillar here, I think somebody may have tried to Bondo this at one point instead of fixing the rust. See, I just pulled a piece off right here. And that pretty much goes all the way back here.
Probably going to uncover some pretty extensive rust. Maybe, maybe not, but that's why we're doing it.
All right, so there's probably going to be a lot of cuts in these videos. Just not exactly sure about the video editing part yet, but we'll figure it out. So the rest of the vehicle is actually in pretty nice shape. The seats, front and rear, are out of a Cadillac, I think we were told. There is power windows. The power windows are controlled by the center console here. We're probably going to change all of that up. It just needs a little bit more little polish. It was a nice restoration. We've had a lot of fun in this car. It's just getting a little tired now, and you know, it's been taken to many car shows. It's been well loved and well used. It's a cruiser car. So going to the back here, at some point somebody had changed out the taillights for this style. The license plate has been inset here. We've got some Bondo cracking issues around it. We're going to try to address all those. The trunk has a really nice auto-catching clasp on it. We want to fix up the stereo. That also has some gremlins as well. We've got some rust, or maybe just some surface treatment to figure out here on the back decking behind the seat. Go around here to the passenger side. It's kind of more of the same. Very similar rust down here. You can see this one's got some extensive bubbling in the paint right here. There is a website. It's called Chevs of the 40s. They have rocker panels for all the various configurations for this year car. So we'll just have to figure out what to buy. I've been looking for this particular piece because, yeah, look how bad that is. Been looking for this piece because, as you can notice, there's a curve. It also curves down this way under here. And so if I could find this to cut this out and put a new one or a better version in, I would. If not, we're gonna have to try to fabricate all of these pieces and see. All right, getting this car up on the lift. It's a little different. We've got to use the frame extenders here. So I think we've got everything lined up where we want it. We've just got to get past these running boards. We're going to take the running boards off first and then address from there. Shop Cat says, I think it's good to go. Go ahead, raise it up, and then we'll watch.
Ready?
Yep. I don't know how everybody else does it on the lift, but we always get the car up I'll give it a bit of a wiggle to see. We're not going to be completely under the car this time, but close enough. This is a heavy vehicle, and it's got a Camaro frame under it. Because of some of the bolts and the leaf spring shackles, it's kind of hard to get it in a really optimal spot, so I think this may be about as good as we're going to get it right now. We'll get it up a little further and see. And this car is taller than the Datsun. I don't know if you can see in the video. All right. We'll go ahead and lock it down. Okay. We'll see how this works out.
Nice and safe.
Step one, we're going to remove the floorboard. There is several bolts along the inside of the fender here, and then underneath here, there's a couple of, I don't know, bridging pieces that was taken off of what I assume to be the original 39 frame, and welded onto this Camaro frame. So since we got the car up, let's take a look. Got these pieces here. Looks like the bottom of this is bolted on. I think these are welded on back here. We'll have to double check all of that. But yeah, I've got to get those bolts off. Then if we come up here, it might be a little close. There are bolts from the fender. They go around here. Looks like somebody puts, I think, stainless steel bolts in here. That's nice. They look like they're in pretty good shape just visually. A little more underneath the engine here. It's got a couple of leaks. I see a couple things on the floor. We'll have to change out the motor mounts for the new 5.3 LS style. I'll have to get back to it in a minute, but we found some more rust under the passenger floorboard, I believe, so we'll have to address that. Most of that looks pretty flat, though. If I don't want to buy a piece, I've got a big sheet of 18 gauge that we can fabricate. I did some of that on the Datsun project as well. So a lot of work to do. We're going to try to take it step by step. So let's get to it. All right, as you can see, we got this running board out. Wasn't too bad. I think it took us about 10 minutes, 11 minutes or so. Taking a look at the car over here. Here's those supports, those bridges I was talking about. Let's see, this is our first glimpse under here. We've never had these off before. Yeah, look at that. That is literally coming apart in my hands. I am picking out rust. Oop, my hand's in the way. Picking out rust and dirt.
Check that out.
Yeah, it looks like these rockers are pretty much shot through and through. I don't know. Oh, there we go. A little scaly in there. So again, this is going to be a big challenge. This other stuff is flat. It's pretty simple. We haven't ordered the rockers yet. We were going to investigate before we actually started ordering parts and see. And also I noticed back on the door here, there's a couple of dings, and then probably from leaks over the years from the windows. We've got some of this. I think that same site, Chevs of the 40s, I think they sell these skins. I'll have to see if it comes down in wraps on this curve and contour though. If not, it's going to be more fabrication. So, we'll see. One thing I like to use are just these little cheap sandwich bags and label everything. So we just took that off. We're going to go ahead and put the bolts up right away in here. I did this with or I've always done this with car projects actually. And actually from the Z project over here, I still have a couple of tubs of bolts that I never use, but I'm going to keep them for now. I might sell off some of that stuff. But yeah, this is my method. I like it. It makes it easy. Once you get a whole bunch of bags lined up in a box or something, you can almost pull them back like a filing cabinet, and it makes it easy to find things. So anybody else has some good ideas that they like to use, just let us know. Driver's side is off. About more of the same. I mean, you see that is all the way in there. I don't know if it's all the way. It's not all the way through, but it's pretty scaly feeling back there. I'm not sure what gauge metal they made these cars out of. The Datsun project was pretty thin. That's pretty typical of 70s Japanese cars. Let's see. Yeah, it's kind of what I showed earlier. This is a 39 body. I mean, it's pretty old. Something has happened here. You can see, it's actually see in the video, you can see it's been up. Maybe at some point the factory frame and body, maybe it got jacked up here. Maybe it was put on some other device when they put the body on this frame. Something happened. Oop. More rust up here. More in here. That's interesting. Doesn't look too bad, actually. It's that big hole right there. This looks like the corner of the footwell of the driver's side. And that's right on the frame. I haven't seen that before, just haven't paid attention. A little bit more rust than we thought on this car. We've had it for a while, and we've been driving it, enjoying it for big car shows and car events. It's just time. It's just time to get it on the operating table.
And give it some love.
Yep. Give it some love. We'll have to see. Gotta take all the top off here, take the carpet off, and then see what lies beneath.
Ooh.
All right, little update to this.
Put the flashlight on.
This here is part of the outside of the body, and it's really hard to see. Oh, there we go, right there. You almost got a glimpse of it. I think where the feet go is inside of its own box, right there. You can see that rusty metal in here. I think the feet go into a separate box here, and this piece is bolted on. I'm not sure about taking that bolt off, but I think fixing this rust is not going to be as bad as I thought, because we don't have to necessarily dig into the actual body and the footwell area itself. It's still pretty bad though. That's okay. This is fortunately also in a place that's not really seen unless you're underneath the car. So our amateur fabrication skills will definitely take care of this one. Okay, next up. I think we're going to get the hood off, eventually get to taking this grill off and getting these fenders off. The fenders are bolted a lot up top along this line here, and probably a lot on the bottom. We've had the hood off before. I've never had any of this off, so that's going to be a bit of a new one for us. So let's get started on it. I don't like taking it off like that. Unfortunately, the issue we were having with it, unfortunately, there's captive nuts up here. So there's two nuts, and then a bolt in the nut, and then on the nose here. I don't know if you can see it in the camera or not, but somebody had cut a little slot out here and bent this up. So we'll probably come back through here and just chop that up to clean it up a little bit. But you can put a wrench in here and get to this.
Is that what caught?
get that off. I got that off. We're going to take the bracing off. Here we can start working on this grill. I think it just comes off on the inside. Here, maybe have to get into the fender. Yeah, we'll work on that next. This side was easy.
Yeah.
All right, as you can see, this side was a little bit easier. We don't have the hoses to deal with that was coming through here. But this is the first time we've ever had these fenders off, and you can actually see deeper down in here than we ever have from the top before. Here's where you feel the power steering fluid. It's got a big, I'm not sure if this is a Camaro power steering system or what. The actual pump, I think, came out of an old Oldsmobile. It's this little shorty pump right here, real small. We have done a lot of work to this motor over the years. Completely new electronics, various sensors, rebuilt alternator, some of the air conditioning work. I know that we've got some pinhole leaks on the radiator up here. I don't know if this radiator will support the new 5.3. It's been okay on this LT1. I know some companies like Champion at least makes this style radiator for a V8. So we'll have to get it out and investigate. I don't actually know anything about this one or this brand or how old it is or anything like that. So, you feeling accomplished?
Very accomplished.
Yeah.
Very awesome.
This is great. We are not too terribly far. I know it seems like a lot, but we are not too far from getting this radiator and whatnot out of the front end and addressing removing the motor and transmission.